You've probably noticed it happening all around you, this boom in sustainable housing. But here's the thing, this green revolution isn't just some happy accident. It's actually the result of a very deliberate playbook. And today, we're going to break down the core government strategies that are completely reshaping how we build our homes for a greener future.
So let's just think about that for a second. How do you take a massive global industry like housing and get the whole thing to go green? It's a huge question, right? It sounds, well, kind of impossible. But it turns out there's a surprisingly clear answer.
And the answer is something called policy-driven expansion. This isn't some fuzzy, wishful thinking kind of idea. No, this is a deliberate top-down approach where governments use very concrete strategies to systematically make green building the new standard.
Okay, so if that's the what, let's get into the how. When you really dig into it, you find this surprisingly straightforward three-part playbook that governments all over the world are using to drive this change. You can think of it as their toolkit for transformation. All right, first up in the playbook is the rule book. This is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's all about setting the foundational, non-negotiable requirements that everyone in the construction world has to follow. And here's why this is so crucial. This strategy raises the floor for the entire industry. By putting stricter building codes and clear sustainability mandates in place, green features are no longer just an optional extra. They become a legal requirement. It sets a whole new minimum standard for all new construction.
But just forcing change with rules, well, that's only half the story. If you think of those mandates and codes as the stick that enforces a baseline, you have to ask, where's the carrot? What encourages the industry to push beyond that minimum and to do it even faster?
And that brings us directly to strategy number 2, the incentive. This is the carrot. This is where the whole approach shifts from just forcing compliance to actively rewarding ambition and encouraging action through, positive reinforcement.
This is where things really start to pick up speed. Through things like government-backed green housing schemes and direct financial subsidies, the whole economic calculation changes. All of a sudden, it's actually more profitable for developers to build sustainable projects, and it's more affordable for people to buy them. The incentive turns sustainability from a cost into a real competitive advantage.
Okay, so we have rules and we have rewards, the stick and the carrot. But there's a third really big picture strategy that pulls everything together, the global race. This is all about harnessing national ambition and the power of international competition.
A perfect, real-world example of this is when a country launches a major initiative like Net Zero India. Now, this isn't just a domestic policy. It's a bold declaration on the world stage, and it's absolutely designed to attract global recognition.
So how do these big initiatives actually work? Well, first, they set a really clear, ambitious national target. That creates a public benchmark for success that everyone can see. And that, in turn, fosters a healthy sense of international competition. I mean, no country wants to be seen as falling behind, right? So it pushes everyone to innovate and accelerate their progress.
So we've got the rule book, the incentive, and the global race. But the real power isn't that they're isolated strategies. They're actually designed to work together, to feed off each other, and create this powerful, self-reinforcing virtuous cycle.
Let's call this the sustainable housing flywheel. It starts at the very top, with global benchmarks creating these ambitious national goals. That pressure then leads governments to implement stricter codes, which raises the minimum standard for everyone. Then, to help the industry meet and even exceed those standards, government subsidies kick in, accelerating adoption. See how each part pushes the next? It creates this unstoppable momentum.
So, the policy playbook is clear. The blueprint for a greener building industry, it exists. Which leaves us with one final, crucial question to think about. If we know how to build this sustainable future, what do you think is the single biggest obstacle still standing in our way?